facing any of those two teams, what do you think they take away from that series, if anything? Apart from perhaps not taking wrong Roche fights, which was kind of the theme of that best of 3.
Honestly, I think what they take out of that series is confidence, because I think both EG and LGD will be like, we're gonna beat both those teams.
Okay.
So what we got to do is we got to win our semi-final, and then I don't know what they'll feel about Liquid, but
I disagree to the extent that they're going to feel confident, because I think right now all they want to focus on is the match at hand. Like, I don't think teams are thinking like, if we win this, we win the tournament.
Yeah. Okay.
Just from like a pro player mentality, I feel like they don't think that way at all. They're thinking entirely about this match, then they think about the next match.
Agreed. Maybe they take something like they see just how strong Lone Druid is, maybe, and maybe we finally see a Sylar Syllabear, but we'll see from there as we get started with the amazing intros to the stadium.
Guys, it might not. I mean, it looks cool on stream. Don't get me wrong. But if you're actually in an arena and you're sitting right there,
it's that visceral, like chest pumping sound.
Yeah, you got goosebumps. You get your heart in your
not prone
throat.
to epileptic fits.
Yes.
Like that's.
Not prone to migraines. Not prone to epilepsy. But
I love this bit.
who actually wins here, Wind Range or Ancient Apparition? You don't really know, right? Because that Drow vs Bristleback thing in the adverts, it's kind of like, surprise, Bristleback seems to win at the end.
no, this is actually really cool. If you're sitting in there, it's amazing. If you have a chance to witness a Dota 2 event live, you probably should take that chance.
I'm gonna say something that like Dota fans are gonna be really upset with, but I think the Counter-Strike intro is actually cooler. I think the
I feel like it's easier to make a Counter-Strike intro.
I like the Dota one because it integrates the two heroes into it and the spells crossing. I think that bit,
yeah.
Of all the intro, that's my favorite part.
But the Counter-Strike one, like, if you're in the audience, you feel like you're in a Counter-Strike game. You feel like you're inside a game.
There's the shots all over.
The shell drop sound is really sick.
The shell drop sound. And it's so quiet because everybody there is just sitting there holding their breath. You don't actually hear anything at all, apart from that shell dropping on the floor.
Digital sports, digital trophy.
There are also physical trophies, by the way. There's 2 of them. One for Dota, one for CSGO.
We don't believe in physical trophies at the summit. We just give ribbons and checks.
I don't even know why we do checks like this. As a player ever like taking it home, have we ever gotten any like value out of having a check? You know, those things just look.
Photographs. Photographs.
You know, the checks create more problems than they solve. Like you've come to go to find a Sharpie. The last time it was like, anyone got a Sharpie? We're gonna get a Sharpie in a second. I always look around. Brian's like stressing out. I'm just like, we don't need to write a team's name on there. Like no one cares. It's just the check. But here we go.
Well, as you can imagine, by the way, Stefan, which is the Russian host, is talking about what we can see today, which games.
This guy's like the Russian Selection Slacks. He's actually like crazy, super high energy, and a bit clowny.
And he has done so many things. He actually comes from a like physical sports background. Was doing things in football.
Okay.
To on the production side of things, actually, he only grew into the front row for esports, anyways, in the past year. For example, at DAC last year, he was Ina's producer, his guest producer for Starladder for like actual on-site in Shanghai. But he's really good. He's really driven.
And LGD in their boots, getting ready, and neither team looking particularly stressed out or worried. It's still early in the morning, and got their game faces on.
Yeah.
Silas got his tissues ready. So.
Oh yes.
How much do you think these two teams? I mean, you know it's a best of 3. Do you feel like more relaxed going into your first game, knowing that you have a game 2 coming up?
There's some aspect of knowing you have a game you can lose, but it's really tough going down in game 1 of a best
Game 1
of
is
3.
the game you have the most thought out game plan going into as far as draft and strategy goes. So I think you are most relaxed because it's like we're going to do, these are the key things we're going to look out for. These are the heroes we want to pick up. If they pick this, we're going to counter it with this pick.
Right.
And then on top of that, you've even maybe planned out various smoke timings, various rotations already. Like when do you want to gate the mid lane or do you not gate the mid lane? Do you focus on pressuring Universe in the off lane? So you've already planned out most of game 1. It's game 2 where if you lose game 2, you've got to go to your plan B, which is either something you've theory crafted less, or it's something you kind of make up on the spot.
Yeah,
So
that's why I think LGD is probably the best Game 1 team, because I think they're the team that most benefits from kind of having a firm script and a decision, and whereas EG is at their best when they're adapting to teams and responding to teams.
Now we know why they had their game phrases on, guys.
they were like mid-draft. We're as surprised as you guys at home. Perhaps you guys actually knew this was happening. We did not. We've got EG versus LGD draft underway. And it was okay. Let's go back to the start. So LGD had first pick, EG had second pick, Radiant first pick. No surprises there.
It's interesting that LGD fears Earth Spirit so much, because I think out of all Earth Spirit players so far this tournament, he's probably looked like the weakest.
Fear?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean MMY.
Oh, EG Bandit. Never mind.
Okay,
never mind.
it's swap sides. Okay, it's EG Radiant. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it was really
overlay. Yeah. The
Okay, I got very
overlays were
confused there.
backwards.
Okay.
It's EG on Radiant.
Because none of those bans made sense.
I was about to say, now
before.
this band makes way more
yeah.
sense.
Why would EG ban Lone Druid and Void? Like, those are the heroes they've been picking.
No. I was just looking at the first bans and thinking the same thing.
There we go. That's much better.
EG though, first picking Witch Doctor, which is perhaps a bit of a surprise.
Maybe just trying not to give anything away, but that first pick slot is very crowded.
Has Sven been winning in this tournament?
He has been picked.
I saw Eternal Envy players and they definitely
the teams
lost.
who've been playing
had
had a lot of success. Like Navi, it was one of their most successful hosts for Deetras.
Alliance won with it too.
Yeah, Alliance.
Against
It was
Fnatic.
banned. It's like it was mostly a second stage ban. Like every game, I think against Alliance, it was second stage ban, just because that's like the ideal hero to have loader on that can kind of create space, not need as much farm when Bulldog's playing Lone Druid.
The game that I cast was Liquid versus Secret, and Secret went Sven there, and it was a very bad game for them.
Was it Envy Sven?
Yeah, it was an Envy Sven, but actually, to be honest, that game got decided, I think, a lot by that like ridiculous ward.
Was that the game that I was casting with you where he just kept using God Strength to farm neutrals?
Yes, that was the one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. We thought that was cool,
Yeah, it
but
was a new way to play the hero.
game didn't go that well in the end. So
Sven, Lena. I mean, both these LGD first two picks come out of nowhere, really. We've not like seen any prioritization.
Dream Protector, another signature hero that they haven't picked yet this tournament.
Well, PPD's happy.
Oh man.
So, I mean, I think the key hero to look at for EG's draft so far has to be the Batrider to me. They pick it second before LGD can respond to it, then they immediately ban the Vengeful Spirit. Oracle was still in the pool though, and LGD opted not to take it.
Yeah, I wonder if LGD will pick up IO here to go with the Sven, because it's not banned out yet. MNY plays a pretty good
They've
IO.
got to be considering Oracle though. Whenever you're against Batrider, Oracle is just like the false promise instantly dispelling off Batrider Lasso is just such a huge tool to have.
So yesterday Sumail played Bat, but that's Universe was Void. Void is out. Do you think this is a Universe Bat? Is it a Sumail Bat?
How does Bat fare in lane against Lena, generally?
Okay, it's kind
I
of
don't think it's that bad.
It's like who's going to outplay who kind of matchup.
Right.
I think
he'll have a
I
harder
think it's
time
Lena
versus.
favored. I think it's. I mean, Lena's got really high range, so it doesn't have to go into range of the Napalm that much.
You have to play very cautious once you get a few stacks.
Oh, is this the MMY roaming Sven support instead now?
Oh yeah, that's actually something he's played
He
recently.
picked it up in the
Is
Shanghai
it
qualifiers.
maybe Lena? Maybe
Yeah,
Lena
yeah,
roaming
It's
for
almost
big
certainly a
Sven?
maybe Lena, yes.
Yeah.
But this, I think this is MMY roaming support Sven here. Actually, because they did the same thing in the Shanghai qualifiers, trying to throw their enemies off balance in terms of how they were going to play by picking Sven, making them think it was their core, and then changing their entire strategy of the draft there. Not as strong of a pivot with the gyrocopter pick in the Shanghai qualifiers. They picked a Lycan instead, and it completely changed up their entire game plan.
The most interesting thing about these two drafts is that neither team is prioritizing pushing at all. Not a single pushing core has been picked up. Even in the past where teams have gone for greedier drafts, like you look at what Alliance are doing, they're running these more farm, passive lineups from time to time. They still have like a Lone Druid, something that can push down towers. They still put Loader on a hero, like a Juggernaut even, that can push towers. We're seeing Gyrocopter, Spectre. No heroes that actually take objective picked up by either team, which just goes completely against the meta of the tournament.
Exactly, and what we said coming into the
But
draft.
these are two teams who don't care about the meta of the tournament.
exactly.
They play their own style and they're going to react to
It's
one
more
another.
about the meta of the matchup than the tournament.
I mean, EG, I want to say their most valued heroes of the tournament so far were actually Venge and Enigma, and they don't. I mean, they banned the Venge themselves here. They have. I don't think. Maybe they can still go for Enigma, but I feel like those are picks that are good in push and against push, and so you get them, and it doesn't matter which side of the push you end up on. But in this draft, it's like why would those heroes be important? This match is not about pushing.
Wow. LGD, last ban, Night Stalker.
If this is the MMY roaming Sven, I think this is a rough game for him because I think if you go something that greedy, your early ganks have to be absolutely on point otherwise you fall off really hard.
There is. Never mind.
Otherwise you fall off really hard, and Treant Protector, Spectre, Batrider are going to be relatively hard to gank a lineup.
I mean, it's a support, so you don't mind if he falls off so much. You're just there for the Warcry spam as well as the reliable stun. So
fair enough.
Even if you're not successful in finding kills, the support can still theoretically work okay.
Right. We'll see if with this last pick if it actually is that.
If it wasn't a support Sven, like what are the alternatives? It has to be support Lina,
support
and then
Lina.
Gyro.
Are they running some weird dual lanes?
We have seen Gyro
played Sven offlane in the past, so there's some other possibilities.
Yeah, we've seen Majas, but I really don't think LGD would be a team that does.
Auto2K has been playing crazy stuff in the offlane, and he's been the one drafting, and he's been very confident in his picks. Okay, but
this is a good pick against the Spectre. Gives him a good team fight as well. And also not a hero that can just get lassoed and focused down. I think that's the really key thing about the Tidehunter pick. He's going to be a frontliner, and the Batrider can't just initiate and jump on him.
It's also a good hero for ROTK. It's kind of like a good first game pick for him, because ROTK, we know, can be one of the most feast or famine players in Dota. Let's give him something solid that'll just keep the game in a good tempo.
It's his 5th most picked hero across all time.
Yeah, he's good with it.
In Dota 2. Put it that way.
So this pretty much secures up the lanes. I mean, it could be Gyro mid with Lina support, but I think almost certainly maybe wants to be playing Lina. Like he's the guy you're sending mid against Sumail or Arteezy. You want him to be on the Lina.
And it is a Sumail bats again.
Looks like it.
All right. Last pick Prophet going to be the universe hero of choice, and EG add a bit of push and just annoying kind of global presence with the Prophet with the Spectre in this draft.
Guys, I want to hear from you guys. Who is going to take this first game?
I like the EG draft most. I'm not so sure about the support Sven coming out.
It's okay. You like EG.
Yes, I like EG.
We're going to give it over to the cast real soon. So what do you think?
I liked EG until I saw the Tide, so I think draft-wise pretty even, but I think LGD, we talked about them being a good game 1 team. I'll go with LGD game 1.
Okay.
I think LGD because Lina's going to have a great game.
Okay, we're going to find out which of the 2 teams is going to take that first game. It is over to OD and Luminous for the first game.
Indeed, thank you very much. We're getting ourselves ready to go into the first game of today, EG versus LGD. Of course, LGD straight here, top of the group, straight to the semis. EG yesterday had to go up against Vega, knocked them out 2-0. But Lumi, this is the harder matchup for EG, sure. Look at this.
Amazing.
Wow. I love the way they tell you how many people are left in the queue for the toilet here. Beautiful. Time to go. And we're in. EG, LGD. Let's talk about the lineups, Lumi. We've got your Spectre, we've got your Nature's Prophet. The perfect follow-up, surely, for a Blink Lasso catch-out.
I absolutely agree. I think the panel is mostly on the side of LGD, but I think EG in the mid game, they could stretch the map out with Nature's Prophet. And when the map's wide open, that's when you love to have the Batrider. That's when you like to have the global presence of the Treant, the Haunt, as well as the Prophet TP. I'm actually siding with EG. Should the lane actually go even, but we'll see. It looks like LGD is threatening to invade the jungle here.
Yeah, and they've got they really pack a punch at level 1, these guys.
Yes.
And let's talk about this, the MMY Sven. Sven roaming around support. The panel talked about how it potentially was a little bit too greedy of a pick, but in LGD's eyes, this could work out. I mean, how do you make this work? What do you think we'll expect to see from LGD?
I don't think it will work, and I think PPD was really prepared for this roaming MMY. That's why Treant is such a good pick, right? You need to have those first and second gank work. Living Armor is a plot armor for whoever you're saving. Like, that person is just not going to die. So, looking at LGD spells, the only really good way to deal with the Living Armor is the Sylar Rocket Barrage. But apart from that, the Living Armor is going to block so much damage, it's going to prevent and heal. So I think MMY needs to really pick his place to gank, and those ganks need to be successful because, like the panel was saying, at core, he's a very, very greedy support. Needs level, needs farm, that kind of jazz.
And talking about the actual 2 cores, so the Gyro versus Spectre. Cylon is Gyro, one of the his signature heroes. But at the same time, we've got Artor on the Spectre, and this is a hero that recently a lot of people have been talking up on this patch. They've said that Spectre, this could be the next go-to hard carry. Is this as strong as people are saying it is?
I think in this game it is. Yeah. I mean, if you look at Gyro, he's a hero been falling off. And for a Gyro to be successful, you need to make those roaming gank work. So same thing with that MMY Sven, which again, the Treant is very good at. Whereas if you look at Spectre, he could just farm in the lane. If the gank looks good, he'll haunt in for the KS.
Mid maybe needs to be careful. I mean, 4 stacks of sticky napalm. We're seeing this matchup, the Bat versus the Lina. Is this a lane where you expect to see a clear winner?
Right now,
stacks, you gotta
right
be
now
careful.
you see Sumail is winning the lane. With that said though, Lina does have that magic wand. Lina historically is a fairly decent hero against the bat because he could only really tower dive you if you have a ton of creeps under your tower. And Lina's one of the better heroes at shoving out the lane like he's doing so right now. With that said though, he can't feel too comfortable until he gets spooked. So you can see that Sumail is looking to play fairly aggressive.
And talking about aggression, so DGC just forcing Universe back away from this off lane. Universe is having to currently deal with this tri lane, and it is a very scary tri lane. I mean, Gyro, Sven, Rubik, you get caught out as a Nature's Prophet, you're almost certainly going to die. So Universe has got to play this very safe. But then again, Universe as an offlaner could be considered as just one of the smartest in the sense you very rarely see Universe feed at the start of the game.
No, he plays relatively safe as he's doing so right now, and this is the power of Prophet, right? You go into jungle and you can still help out the lanes, whereas Tidehunter, you know he's in the jungle, you know he's actually doing absolutely nothing for the next 8 to 10 minutes, so effectively EG is playing with the +1 on the map.
And at the moment, it's just pretty much which carry hits the most CS at the moment between the Spectre and the Gyros. They'll both get total free reign of the lanes. At the moment, 11 to 6, 9 to 6, but Artor's got these ones coming in now, so it's going to stay pretty much neck and neck. The mid lane, Lina 10 for 0, Bat 13 for 3, so somehow just slightly ahead. But I think, as we kind of expect, this is all going to start to kick off when LGD start to try and use these aggressive supports in rotations, and we'll see if EG are able to deal with it with the lineup. And as you said, the Treant armor is certainly going to be an issue for LGD when they start to look for these roaming.
Yeah, it looks like both team is just kind of chilling back and farming away. You can see that the LGD support has actually warded off the camp against the Prophet up top. So Prophet is like, okay, well, I'll just go to another part of the jungle. So effectively, both of the off lanes have been relatively shut down. And Tidehunter just took a quicker trip home. Don't worry.
All
He
incentive.
had Badas,
Yeah, he
all
just
his
picked up the
gold.
boots.
He's cool.
And then made a stack.
Yeah, but the concern is you're playing Rubik as well as Sven as your two supports. Both of them wants Blink Dagger, both of them wants, effectively level 8 at least. I just don't know how they're going to get it. They don't really have a jungle to stack and pull from. I mean, right now one person's pulling the top, but apart from that, it's nothing really to write home about.
Yeah, I mean, the way that this game's going, I can see it being one where we're not necessarily going to see too much aggression in the earlier stages. You do have MMY heading towards the mid lane, hanging on the high ground on his Sven. Actually going to go for a solo smoke. He's level 2, so Warcry and Stormhammer at the ready.
Lina's out of mana, so...
It's just going to be a hard one to catch out.
Again, there's also living armor that you have to account for.
I don't think they get this kill in any
I don't think so
shape or
either.
form, yeah.
And the way that Maybe is posturing himself, he's very aggressive all of a sudden. Because for the most part, he's been playing really, far back. So I think Sumail is also going to be able to tell something is coming. So effectively, again, MOY is just wasting his time. Haystream being picked up here by PPD, or at least securing
save it for Sumail, yeah.
And that can get extremely dangerous for Lina. Especially, the one thing that we didn't talk about is that Living Armor allows the Bat Rider to dive without any fear under the T1 tower mid. Oh, that's a big stack too.
Universe maybe needing to be careful here. He's just come back up to the lane, but MMY's around. He's going to reveal himself, so Universe obviously will stay hidden, but MMY popping out into the lane, so EMP will stay safe.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, this game so far looks like the beginning of a boxing match. Two players filling each other out.
Pretty much.
I gotta say, EG though is getting the early jabs in. The Bat Rider's farming well. The supports on the side of LG is not getting too much. With that said though,
They will get this tower.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on that T1 top.
They're going to get this tower. They're going to get this a bit of a cash bonus here for the side. And Starladder still 35 for 9, 33 for 12. So as expected, both carries pretty much not missing a CS. And again, we're going to see Sumail. He's on 1300 gold at the moment. We can expect a very good timing on the blink. Definitely pre 10 minutes at this rate.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, unless he just gets ganked and die twice. Bottom lane here, RT.
The bounce is here. They could try and go for this, and they are. It's half health for the moment. Artor going to start to chase the anchor smash, though. It's going to obviously knock down the right clicks, and Artor realizes he can't dive for this one. But nonetheless, a lot of harassment there onto RSCK.
Let's see if Sumail could actually use that haste ring. It's about to pop. Living Armor's on CD. It's a fairly low mana, so probably not, but he can, obviously bottle back up. I think Lina is well aware, and yeah, MMY is parked behind the Lina. they are aware that the Batrider haste is a guarantee for a split if without backup.
Yeah, smart positioning from MMY, as you said. Just it's going to hang around almost certainly till that rune is gone. And the build here from the Spectre, TZ picking up the Urn of Shadows, and it was something that we don't always see Spectres do, but it's such a strong item on the hero because it allows you to obviously attend the fights with the Haunt and never have to necessarily worry about getting back to base. If you're finding yourself involved in the kills, you have that self-sustain in the lane, so you can just continue to farm.
In this tournament, it seems like, hold that thought. Sumail's in the jungle. He will find
RTK, here we go with the Firefly. A couple of stacks of Napalm. He'll chase this one down with a Flame Break bringing about. First blood there for Sumail. He's got the money for the blink. 5 gold off though. If he goes down, he's got to buy that blink dagger. He's got the money.
He's got it.
He's got to buy it though. No, he wants to kill him. He's going in on DDC. He's got 2 stacks of Napalm. One more right with the Flame Break. Sumail, can he chase this down? He's going to get it. Double kill. Triple. The Fairy Fire. The Horde is there. RTZ coming in to clean up the job. Will get the kill. Now they turn towards maybe. They've found 3. They might be able to find a 4. Sumail with the DD doing work. Pops the Flame Break out. Is he going to catch anyone now? RTK gets the gush onto Sumail. They'll get the Light Strike. They're looking for revenge. Laguna, living armor won't be able to save him as the cooldown comes down as well. And Sylar will find the return kill. But, well, we said there'd be a slow start and then bam. 6 minutes in, it all kicks off. Sumail does go down, but he does so much damage to LGD, and he does get that blink dagger.
Dr. House right now is putting on the
7-minute blink dagger.
Yeah, and he's going to keep on going. We're going to see that smoke of the seat on Batrider. Keep in mind that he can make those dives because of Treant. It's funny to see that that's where it happened, though, like behind a tier 2, 6 minutes
so
in.
deep.
Yeah, so deep. And it worked out here for EG, so the map now will get opened up. And if you're LGD, you know, you have very under-level, under-farm supports. How do you deal with this aggression? Well, I guess LGD will have to tell us, because it's a really, really tough game for them to play now.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the upsides for LGD, the fact that Sylar was the one to get that kill onto the bat, so Gyro will be at the top of the net worth at this point of the game. 4.1k, still top of the CS.
And that kind of aggression that's working out for at least a gyrocopter in that engagement is really the only way for a successful gyro to be played right now. I mean, you need to be teleporting in, you need to make sure those call down ganks are going your way. At least defensively it worked out there for them. And now LGD is you know, farming some stacks.
I was going to say, one thing to note, LGD's been very good with keeping these stacks up in the jungle, so we're certainly going to see, at least at this point of the game, the farm still be very, very even. If anything, LGD might be able to pull slightly ahead with these stacks that they're creating. And DDC just been given a bit of a lane here to find his level 6.
Yep.
And so's PPD. He's the one there as well, picking up the XP for the side of EG. Yeah, it's very, very close, even though it's the 3-1 kickoff because of the amount of farming that LGD's been doing over their side of the map, keeping themselves pretty much neck and neck with EG.
Alright, smoke has been purchased on the Batrider, although that's something that EG has to be careful about. They have to be aware of the positioning of the TIE Hunter. You could have your early blink all you want. If you blink into a Ravage, you're just essentially feeding. So ROTK, his positioning and his awareness of the maps and the ganks that are coming his way has to be, you know, on point.
And you can see RTZ now with the phase boots. He's very much ready to haunt him for a bit of action if it does kick off. And we'll see if it will, because LGD, 3 of them sticking as a group in their own jungle. They know that Batrider's got the blink. It has been revealed in the mid lane when he was farming, so they'll be very, very careful about being caught out now, and it is going to be hard for EG to find them. We saw them at the start, you know, Sumail getting the kills, was lucky with the runes, you know, had the haste in them, followed up by DD.
Yeah, LGD right now don't want to show at least Alina until she finishes her Yule Scepter. Then at least she has a way to defend herself against the bat that's jumping in. And suddenly if you look at LG's lineup, they got the Telekinesis lift from Rubik, they got the TIE Hunter, you know, counter-initiate with the Ravage, and obviously you got the Lina, and to a certain extent you got the Sven as well. So they're fairly well prepared against the Batrider jump in, but that's only if Batrider's coming in with, by himself. If he's coming in with the whole team, then suddenly it's a different story. And it's been like 2 minutes now that DDC's been, what, free farming up top, right?
Yeah, he's starting to get a bit of space there on the Rubik, so he can work towards that inevitable blink dagger. Smoke up from the side of LGD, making their way down bottom. You've got Fear and Sumail in the neighborhood. MMI moving forward. Fear looking to be in trouble. The gush slows there, followed up by the Stormhammer. They get the Light Strike combination, and bam, Fear will be taken down. Smart move there from LGD to find a pick-off in a game where it's already proven to be very hard to find that kind of action so far. 10 minutes in, just 3 for 2.
And that might look like, you know, an overcommitment for LGD. You just basically smoke gank a support. Essentially, they were able to get the kill without committing any big spells, and that's huge. You're still very well protected against Bat Rider. Speaking of the Bat Rider, just defending the tower a bit. They really want to knock down these T1 towers. So I say both teams are executing the game plans very well, and that Lina Yules is online, so she could also be suddenly a big threat by herself.
And obviously from previous games, we know that maybe on his Lina, he can barrel out of control. And so far, he's been involved in both of the kills for the side of LGD. EG needs to be careful. You've got drums now done on Arteezy.
This has been the popular build for Spectre, at least in this tournament, both Urn and drums. Normally that's kind of an overkill, but I feel like games have been really decided in the first 15 to 25 minutes, and having your Spectre be able to participate in the fight and just come in and drums your whole team is a pretty big deal in fights. And it's been working out for the Spectre players.
And of course we're seeing RTK on his Tidehunter. He's going to be going for the mech first. I mean, it seems like an age since I've seen a Tidehunter rush a Blink Dagger. Is that just a thing of the past now? Is it more important to have the mech on that offlaner?
Hold that thought, because here comes the fight.
Oh, you're set up, and Samael in a lot of trouble. There will be a Haunted, but he gets nuked down there by Lina with the Laguna Blade. There, will throw out the cast. Dagger from Arteezy, EG. They're going to eye this up, see if they can get themselves back in. It looks like they're just going to keep themselves out. PPD coming in to scout it out there with the Nature's guys as LGD do split, but again they get themselves another kill. But yeah, so the mech on Tidehunter.
Right, so if you looked at how that fight progressed, right, you saw how LGD's heroes just drop, you know, a bit of HP on every one of them, and that's where really the mech helps out. With that said though, I think the Blink Dagger would be really good against the Bat Rider. You see the Bat blink in against one of your guys, you blink forward and you ravage the Bat +1. And I think ROTK is looking to group up and push with this team. That's a brave man teleporting in.
They might fight here. They do have an Overgrowth, and here we go, dropping the death for the Overgrowth to follow up Sylar. Getting pummeled, they'll be caught on the Ravage. Looking to cancel it, but it doesn't quite catch the Witch Doctor. They'll lose the Rubik, and now Arteezy, he's got a double damage. They're chasing down RTK. They're going to get themselves the second kill. Can they get more? The Sprout from Universe catching out Sylar. The jump forward for Samel. They've also caught maybe. That's the third one down, and they're going to look to take a fourth, maybe to fall as well. And EG with a perfect collaboration of skill there to catch out LGD. And they look to the greater scale there. They didn't hone their skills all on one hero. They knew that they could get multiple ones, and they did it beautifully.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Tidehunter Ravage came a little too late, and it also did not cancel the Death Ward. The Death Ward did so much damage against the Gyrocopter, and previous to that, you were asking about the Meg. Well, boy, they sure wanted a Meg right there. You know,
and that's going to be put on hold now.
Yeah.
Losing his life again, the Tide. Knocking back the farm, and that was, yeah, as we saw, a big swing for EG to take at this point. 13 minutes in, that's going to put them comfortably ahead.
Yeah, normally against an LGD, you lose that kind of mid-game team fight. You're like, you know what, that's cool. We got the better late-game lineup. We could push late game. But if you, again, something that Panel pointed out is neither of these teams are really exceptional pushing. So all of these mid-game team fights is going to have a huge ramification down the line. LGD can't play their standard, hey, let's sit back, defend high ground style. They need to start winning some of these team fights. And that's why I thought the last pick Tidehunter was very smart, but so far it hasn't really been converting.
Mid lane. Arthur. Nice. Gonna snag the dagger. Here onto the Rubik from Mr. Arteezy, PPD. And get some intel into the jungle, heading around, checking what's going on here. Little spot out maybe.
Oh, that's something you don't want to run into.
Someone blocked me here, and well, they want to go for this. The Haunt in fact, it's the mid fight this way is kicking off because the Death Ball was laid down by Fear. They followed through. Universe thinking about TPing in to help try and capitalize on going for maybe, but bottle charge is enough to keep the Lina safe and sound. But that Titan to pick off again, slowing down his farm. We'll see maybe get the light strike. They do have the vision here. They drop the Sentry and they drop PPD. EG now looking to get themselves back out. And that'll be out. Just the 1-for-1 trade there.
I would say that the most crucial player right now for LGD is actually the TIE Hunter. And as strange it is to see how TIE Hunter has been feeding so much, well, because he's normally very tanky, but he's been dying. And that mech is going to be delayed, the Blink Dagger downline is going to be delayed. And they need both of those items if they want to start winning these team fights. Silo is trying his best to keep up in farm, but he's now starting to fall behind compared to Arteezy.
It's still pretty close. There's only 100 gold in it, Lumi.
That's true.
Not giving too much hard time. And with this Ancient stack, this is actually going to put him ahead.
It's harder for Starladder to use this goal as effectively as Spectre, because Spectre is in every fight, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Starladder
It's
has
much
to physically
easier
get
for
there.
Arteezy to just join the fights.
And also the item that Arteezy has bought has been much more effective for this stage of the game. And that's not to say that, eventually he's going to get his Diffuser or Radiance. Both of them will be great for this type of game.
I mean, yeah, would you mind, what is the build now after the phase jumps?
I think
Do you think it's still the Radiance?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower.
LGD was smoked up looking for some action, but I don't know if that was really the play that LGD needed to make there, as it doesn't
seemed
work
like
out.
a out of position play for Sylar, but they wanted to show Sylar up top and just disappear with 4. That could look like, debating
And then EG
Sylar.
called their bluff. They were
Right.
like, right, Sylar's on his own, let's go.
They didn't really call a bluff because the Trian was invis the whole time. They knew no one's behind him, so Trian is making a lot happen,
Dire's structures
despite
are
really not
fortified.
looking like a lot is happening for him. And now LGD is trying to push the tier 1, and they'll eventually get it, I think, but it's going to take quite a while. In fact, the Trian is holding him up.
Trian's behind him and he does have the overgrowth, but I guess without the horn, I don't really want to look to fight straight away. Etherlens now done on Lina. Universe has, he's picking up the blink fairly early here on the Nature's Prophet.
That's great for him. Again, the downside for not pushing that tier 1 mid is Living Armor is going to bring it back up. I feel like slowly this game is really getting more and more out of reach for LGD.
Yeah, they've got to look for something big to really swing themselves back into it. The farm is still good for the Gyro. We see Sylar, he is at the top of the board, working towards that S and Y. And Etherlens now on some L as well, so the catch potential from EG very big, especially with PPD, just as we've said, from this period positioning on the Treant, causing so many issues for LGD and allowing the lineup of EG just to work so well around it. It really does feel like the whole draft really centralizes around that PPD Treant kicking things off.
Yeah, I think if LGD downloads this replay after the game and watches it, they'll kick themselves, like, in terms of how much the Treant has really done against them. If LGD was winning, they could afford for an early game gem and try to shut him down that way, but obviously they're not winning. They don't really have the luxury of picking up a fairly expensive item like that. Here we go. LGD is looking to
Radiant's
push in.
middle
It's like, hey,
tower
this
is under
tower
attack.
used to be at low health. Now it's back to half.
Yeah, they should get it with this force. Force push it down the mid. Living Armor comes out. Throw the flame break. The cast will bounce between the two. They'll jump in for the Yules there to hold the bat in place. The Ravage comes through as well. Samael in a bit of trouble. The cooldown, but from the sideline, Fear with a death ward parallel to RTK. RTK will fall. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment, and now the damage on MY. He's got to run. RTZ looking for the cleanup here. Can they follow through for more? There'll be the telekinesis onto Universe, bringing him into the Laguna Blade. That's the second one down, but RTZ's still cleaning up. The cast, the bounces. Sylar will go down. Double kill for Fear. This man on his Witch Doctor. Huge death ward into huge bounces here. They'll continue to chase. The movement speed from Artur. He's looking for the two of them. There will be a Yule Scepter holding him back. Can they still chase this one down? The stolen cast, but RTZ still wanting to go for this. The bounces onto him. Now he's looking for the Rubik. Can't get the Lina. Wants to try and find DDC and he'll throw out the dagger. That should be enough to get it. With the Leech Seed as well, they'll find themselves a 4. And EG taking the trade. 4 for 2 there. And again, Fear's positioning with these death wards has been absolutely brutal against LGD.
I mean, granted, LGD like just banged themselves against that mid-tier 1. Like they're like, okay, they're glyphing it up, they're using living armor, let's just stay and just get the last hit. They did get the tower, but that suddenly put themselves in a position without creeps, and that bounce, the cast was so amazing.
Dire's bottom tower
With that said
has
though,
been denied.
we did see Rubik stealing it and using it back against EG with great effects. And speaking of MY steals, he's got living armor a couple times this game, he's got cask. And if he gets a big ultimate, like the Overgrowth being the biggest one, or the Death Ward, you could get some pretty good team fights going for you as well. But so far, he hasn't had the luck of stealing it.
And PPD's got the mech for the side of EG now, ready for the next fight. And yeah, another really painful fight for LGD, and it was very close to being a team wipe. As you said, pretty much just that stolen cast there being the thing to stop Arteezy from being able to pursue down maybe on his Lina. 13-6, and kind of Fear having a similar bit of a journey as PPD did yesterday on his Witch Doctor, where we're seeing these fights in 22 minutes in. Fear's more than halfway towards his Aghanim Scepter.
Fear is, or no, sorry, not Fear. PPD spotted.
And he knows they know. He's like, I'm out. I'm not messing around, and LGD had the full 5 moving in towards him.
That's a slight mistake by our OTK, because, well, obviously he had no way to cancel that.
Yeah, Sven was nearby, but couldn't quite get in range. And PPD actually very smartly TP'd just outside of the range of the Sentry Ward, so even if Sven had got up there, he would have still been okay.
Again, both teams farming away. And this is where you really ask yourself, who's got the better late game, right? We're kind of gearing up. And I like to start by looking at the supports. You know, on one side, you got a Death Ward that's been honing everybody. He's working towards his Aghanims, I imagine. So.
He's super close. As I said, he's pretty much more than halfway.
So the damage is going to even ramp up more and more. And then I've been, you know, just raving about this Treant already throughout the game. So he's been doing amazingly.
And the thing is as well, you look at the Witch Doctor, in theory, LGD, they've got a lot of ways to stop it. It just seems
his
to be
positioning has been amazing.
He just waits for the skills to come out, and then he knows the opening Fear.
He's also been using it from Fog, so that makes it very difficult for DDT to steal it. So speaking of the support of LGD, you know, you got 2 support. At 1, MMY, he's just a big stunning thing now. It gives us team
He's
armor.
the stun and run machine, basically.
Yeah,
he can initiate and he can get you the hell out of there.
Right, the armor is also very nice against the Witch Doctor Death Ward, which is just nice. And DDC's on his Rubik is, you know,
if he gets the steal.
It's like the X factor, right? Like if you get the big steal, if you get the amazing plays, then sure, that's great, but you can't count on every fight.
RTK has now got that blink on top of the mechanism. So we can maybe see LGD find a bit of a better jump in, because all these last fights, you know, it has been EG just catching LGD out in awkward positions. As LGD maybe hang around a little bit too long on a push.
Right.
So maybe this blink dagger could be the turning point. Maybe. He has got that point booster and 2k on top, so he himself's very close to the Aghanims on the Lina.
Alright, the smoke gank into your own jungle. Or roam into the jungle. You're gonna find PPD, he moves away, and he's like, whew, just in my little trees, I'm good, I'm good. And look at how much economic damage it's actually doing, right? Just all these sentries being forced out. This is actually absolutely hilarious to watch as a fellow support player. Like PPD's looking, like he's sitting in his booth, he's just laughing, he's having a good time.
And talking about a great game for support people to watch, the Witch Doctor, Fear's got it done. 24 minutes in, that's your Aghanims done on Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
And we've already seen how much that can do. That in itself is an absolute nightmare for LGD to be dealing with in these team fights.
Top lane,
And Universe, I mean, we've seen him turn up to the fights. He's been involved in all, well, 9 of 13 of them. And he himself, he's nearly got that axe. And when you've got that axe constantly pressuring out all the lanes, I mean, we're seeing at the moment LGD, they've got 3 down bottom there. They can't really go out on their own, so it's going to be very hard for them to deal with the pressure of 3 lanes at the same time.
yes.
Without having the worry of EG catching one of you out. So
Yeah, let's not forget about the Bat Rider, right? We haven't seen him on camera for a while. I imagine he's farming up a Storm. Yeah, he's got the force, he's got
and
the...
2 counts on.
Yep. So I imagine Breach of Travel is following up next.
Yeah, bots or... I mean, yeah, I guess you get the BKB after the bots this game, or is...
Yeah, I think bots
BKB
is
could be nice.
bots is good because you have Prophet to add to the global, you have the Spectre Haunt to even add on top of that, so...
And again, PPD's warding. They see exactly this coming in, they'll actually just pop the Haunt straight away. I don't know if they're going to do anything off the back of it, but a bit of a kind of, we know you're there, LGD.
It looked like very trigger happy from RTZ, but they saw RTK leading the charge, so I think he wanted to cancel the Blink Dagger from RTK to prevent him from, jump Ravage. It's a bit of a cooldown for the Spectre, but the way that EG has been playing, they've been farming better. So they're just using the map, and we see that goal lead is going their way.
Yeah, I guess at this point they know that it's unlikely for LGD maybe to try and look for a fight, if anything, find a successful one, because we're 26 minutes in. They've only got themselves 6 kills, so it's been a fairly slow game for LGD. Sylar, it is worth mentioning though, he is still top of the net worth. He's got 2.6k gold. BKB's done level 16. This Gyro can still be very, very scary in these fights. They've got the combination with the Blink Ravage, with the Storm Hammers, the Light Strike Arrays. They can get the stuns through, and especially against a lineup that doesn't have any BKBs at the moment, and a lineup that we're, well, maybe going to see a BKB on the bat, but that's probably going to be it this game.
One of the rare instances where you see both BKB and Manta Style on the Gyrocopter, and he's getting it just because of the overgrowth.
Yeah, full defensive.
You need a couple ways to get rid of it and start attacking. Right now, LGD is just, well, again, banging their head up against the objective.
They do know, obviously, that it's going on EG. They've sent the Treants in, but it looks like they are going to have to let this go, so LGD will get away with it, and they'll get themselves the Aegis there, pop it onto the Gyro. And yeah, I guess that was one of the things, as Pim just pointed out. The fact that Spectre didn't have that Haunt available meant that it would have been very, very hard for EG to contest. So a nice opening there for LGD.
I wonder if this would be a decent game for the Aghanims for Bat Rider. It's definitely one of the least purchased items for him.
It's because we've seen games as well where there's been very farm bats like Misery Bat, I remember, and he gets Ags Refresher Octarine, and he doesn't get Ags, he just gets Refresher Octarine instead of the Aghanims.
I mean, combined with Aether Lens, it really increased your range of finding.
Catch.
Yeah. You never really count on double catching. It's just one of those like nice things that you could get. But given how LGD is generally very clustered up as they're team fighting, especially dealing with the Haunt, you might actually find yourself finding a 2-man lasso fairly often. And let's not forget that it does increase your damage by a tiny bit. But again, you don't really buy the item just for that. Oh, DDC looking.
He is on it, and Haunt.
Oh, overgrowth, cancel the TP. It comes out a little bit slow, but just in time. And no spell to be stolen because he's still invis.
Yeah, and they can't.
No mana for Haunt.
Yeah, there's a Spectre is out.
In fact, he'll dagger through the trees and start juking. There's a Radiance finish on Mr. RTZ.
Yeah, a Radiant Spectre, Aghanim's Nature's Prophet. We do have a Hood now in RTK, but we yet to see him really do anything big with the Blink Ravage. They just haven't found the opportunity to make a jump onto EG.
Yep, and this is one of their last few opportunities, as Pimpumago is showing us that Smoke is on cooldown for a long, long time. This one has to work, or...
And PPD's just going to dispel it. He's sitting there with the Nature's Guys, and this tree is so annoying for them. They'll jump in onto Artur. They're looking for the Solar Kid. He has got the Horn. Can he get himself out? No, the Chain doesn't there. They're living on! Oh, no, he still goes down. They will lose 2 though, now EG. They're looking for more. They're jumping onto maybe getting himself outside with the wraparound, getting the cooldown onto Universe. We're going to see the rest of them go through. Again, the Sprout from Universe does catch out Sylar. The Bat Rider lasso to follow up. He'll pop the BKB. Will look for the TP out. He will escape. So a 2-for-1 trade. I think at this point, LGD, a support and an offlaner for RTZ, they'll take that trade.
They'll take that trade, and again, we do see Living Armor and of course the Death Ward doing so much. The Living Armor allowing the Death Ward to get that 1-2 kill. And I do want to say MMY Sven, you could almost count him to be not really a hero, so it's like, okay, we traded a tie for a Spectre, and you'll take that trade any day.
Absolutely, getting Arteezy, that is the big kill here for LGD.
I'm sorry, I have the utmost respect for MMY, but the position that he's in this game is just not the greatest.
And the fact that LGD, they've just been so on top of this stacking game. If there was a reward for getting the stacks done, LGD would win it every time this match.
I mean,
There's so much efficiency for the guys.
oh, well, there's a TP in from Profit.
He says, right, I'll nick that ancient, I'll take that ancient, I'll take that one.
Jungling.
Here we go, this is Cliff jungling, this is how it should be done.
Yeah,
This
and then he
is
blinks
how it should
out,
be
look
done.
at this man!
Hey, easy goal, cheers,
Cheesy
cheers,
little
Sylar.
The question is, when will LGD actually pick up a gem?
Yeah.
I'm just... They got dust, they got sentries. Nobody's rich enough to really just like pull one out of their pocket though. That's the problem. Oh, Haunt's coming up.
Who are we looking for? Looking for DDC top. Universe coming in as well. They've got the Sprout maybe. Is there though to
DDC
defend the Rubik? But yeah, these illusions just sitting there. They'll just take the kill. The illusion's too strong with that Radiance burn.
And look at how
Melting
low
for the
risk
support.
that was, right? You Haunt in, you pop a couple of Manta Illusion.
Oh.
Profit pops
Yeah.
in with the ult.
Sylar's a little bit low here, and he's looking to fight. There'll be the Laguna straight up to Universe. Living Armor, will they be able to save him? Oh, no, they will get themselves the kill. Arteezy coming in. And oh, the cause, the Death Ward! It's the Aghanim Death Ward ripping through them! That's going to be two of them down. They'll lose, maybe they'll lose the edge of Gyrocopter. MMY runs in, gets the Sun to fear. RTK and Sylar back up. Maybe they can try and turn this LGD. MMY is getting lead seeded up. PPD coming around for the back. Arteezy looking to get back in. Samael jumps forward. Lasso onto MMY. Could he get himself anything more here? They're still chasing down the side of LGD. Sylar
coming up, pull down.
Okay, being forced back to base. Oh, they actually bounced him out here. He'll get himself out of the Sprout.
They got Ravage.
Yeah, they need to be careful here, EG. They don't want to overstep the mark. LGD ready to fight back, moving in with a force. Ravage, 1 to 3. Rocket Barrage onto Samel. He's got the BKB. And again, the cars bouncing between the two of them. And EG say, you want to fight? We'll take it. RTZ moving on to Sylar. Sylar's going to fall. RTK as well. He's going to be in trouble. Samel diving deep with the Living Armor, with the BKB, getting the napalms down. The Sprout is there. He burns down the trees, but he burns down the fish as well. 21 to 8. EG again, forcing all of LGD to the sidelines.
Yeah, LGD making a ton of mistakes in these team fights. For example, in that engagement, Time Hunter did not have to re-engage, right? In fact, they were fighting essentially 3 versus 5, especially with the Profit buyback. So it's surprised to see LGD take these kind of mistakes in late game team fights, because generally that's where they're really, really good at. But right now, LGD with all the momentum, sorry, EG with all the momentum, and they're threatening to start doing some high ground damage.
Oh, wow! Oh, look at that!
Ate the lens.
Clipping maybe over into the fight. And goodbye, Lina. Lina now down for 70. He does have buyback available, but this could be the top racks in trouble here for the side of LGD.
He'll need a buyback if he wants to.
Yeah, and with no jump for 20 seconds, I don't know if he will. I think they'll just have to admit that this Rax is gone and just have to let these ones go.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
I think the mid-Rex is also going. I feel like EG has the momentum.
They're going to have the Gyro back, and as I say, if they do want to buy back here on the Lina Witch, they might do if they can get initiation, but they don't have that Ravage.
Yeah, they don't. And of course, Trian's ultimate's much on lower cooldowns. He's got the Overgrowth, he's got the Greaves as well, keeping everybody relatively high health. Our TK just tanky on the front line. And we are approaching the territory where Spectre becomes
again, the cast, the Death Ward from Fear from the low ground. ROTK pops the mech, but Samel's just moving in. There will be the Laguna to kill down the back, but they've already lost 3 again on LGD. There'll be a buyback from the Lina, but RTZ sending the illusions in, forcing maybe back to base. Again, these trades, EG, and it's GG. Game 1 goes to the Americans, EG. Just what a performance. I mean, there's so many people. I think everyone on the side of EG, we said it yesterday, they've really turned up for this playoffs portion, and it looks like it's no different today. The team as a whole, just individually, and the synergy, it was just almost perfect.
Yeah, LGD had a draft where they had to out-execute, outplay EG. With the roaming Sven, the Gyrocopter, all his ganks had to work, and Sylar played